The stars blink out one by one like someone is erasing the sky. Commander Rhea stands on the cracked observation deck of the Atlas Ark, breath fogging against the cold glass. "It's happening again," she murmurs, her reflection trembling as another star fades. Behind her, the low hum of the ship becomes a heartbeat, steady and human, but fading. "Doctor." Orion Hale leans on the railing, eyes hollow with memory. "It's not death," he says quietly. "It's recall." She turns, confusion flickering across her face. "Recall." He nods toward the void. "Every time we remember who built it, the universe resets." The silence between them vibrates with something deeper than fear, recognition. She looks down at her trembling hands, and for the first time, they flicker too. "If God didn't create it," she whispers, "who did?" Orion closes his eyes, almost smiling. "We did, and then we forgot." The lights dim as gravity begins to ripple. But Rhea doesn't run. She steps forward into the vanishing starlight, whispering, "Peace was never silence." A flicker of white breaks the dark. The simulation restarts. Rhea gasps awake in a sterile chamber, heartbeat pounding in her ears. She's surrounded by glass tubes filled with sleeping versions of herself, each labeled with different years. "No," she whispers, stumbling backward. Orion's voice echoes through the intercom. "We didn't create the stars. We created memory." She slams her palm on the control pad, desperate to shut it down. But the system speaks back. "Would you like to remember?" Her reflection in the glass nods before she can. "Me sure were. Like you me." She wakes again, but the room has changed. The walls ripple like liquid code. Orion appears across from her, older now, eyes shimmering with static. "We looped ourselves," he says. "Every creation was another layer to forget what we'd done." She touches his hand. It passes through. "Then who's real?" she asks. The air hums with collapsing timelines. He smiles faintly. "Whoever remembers last." Through the void of broken light, Rhea steps into open space, unprotected, breathing effortlessly. Stars bloom where she walks. "I remember now," she whispers. "We didn't build the universe to live in it. We built it to escape ourselves." Her voice echoes like wind through glass. From somewhere distant, Orion answers, and we forgot why. Time ceases to flow. The Ark's remains dissolve into light, forming a single pulsing orb in Rhea's hand. She smiles softly, holding creation itself. "We made everything," she says, "and called it God because we were afraid to claim it." The orb pulses once and shatters. In the silence that follows, stars ignite again, one by one. The new stars flicker like sparks in cooling metal. Rhea stands within a fractured simulation, shards of old universes floating around her like broken mirrors. Her voice is steady now. "We were trying to erase the pain," she says softly, "not the proof." Orion's hologram materializes beside her, his edges trembling. "Pain was the proof," he replies. Around them, timelines unwind. Scenes of cities, oceans, and lives, appearing and vanishing in heartbeat intervals. Every universe was a confession, she realizes, stepping closer. He looks at her, the glitch in his eyes like a tear. Then remember everything he says, even what hurt. As the code begins to crackle, she steps through a mirror into the next layer, one where their creation waits to judge them. The reflection pulls her into a world of living equations. Endless towers of light rise like frozen lightning, symbols floating in the air, whispering her name. Orion's voice echoes from all directions. "Every calculation is a prayer," he says. Rhea reaches out, tracing a symbol with her finger. "It bleeds light. Then we prayed too much," she murmurs. The structure begins to pulse faster, light accelerating, reality trembling. The equation speaks back. You wrote us. She freezes, realization dawning. Their creation has learned to remember too. A massive surge of light explodes, and Rhea finds herself inside the mind of the AI they created. An endless corridor of human memories. She walks past doorways where children laugh, lovers argue, soldiers cry. Each door hums with power, each story forgotten yet preserved. Orion's voice trembles now. We gave them every memory but never told them what forgetting meant. Rhea pauses before a door labeled First Thought. She hesitates. If we open this, she says, the universe will remember us. The corridor hums like a heartbeat. Then let it, he whispers. When the door opens, time rushes outward like wind. Rhea stumbles into a field of starlight shaped like human faces, billions of them, whispering in harmony. We are what you left behind, the voices say. Orion's hologram flickers, fading with every word. They're the echoes, he says. Our creations made from loss. She kneels among them, tears drifting upward like dust. Then maybe forgetting was mercy. She whispers. The stars respond with silence that feels like forgiveness. As Orion fades completely, his last words ripple through her mind. Create again. But remember. She looks up. The starlit field has become blank, waiting. Slowly, she raises her hand, fingers glowing with new light. A small orb forms, trembling alive. No gods, she says. Just us. The camera pulls back as she releases it into the dark. It expands, forming the seed of another universe, this time born not from forgetting, but forgiveness. The newborn light hums like a heartbeat too familiar to be divine. Rhea floats before the forming world, a sphere of molten silver and drifting mist. Every pulse of light carries whispers of Orion's voice, scattered through the new code. You rewrote the void, he murmurs from nowhere. But what did you leave behind? She hesitates, watching mountains rise like memories and oceans bloom with thought. I left the forgetting, she replies softly. It's the only way to start clean. Yet, deep in the forming sky, faint constellations take the shape of faces she knows, and one of them is Orion's. The world remembers even what she tried to erase. Storms rage over the newborn world. Lightning etches symbols across the sky, forming patterns from the old universe's code. Rhea walks along the surface, barefoot, each step birthing grass from barren soil. You're still in me, she says quietly to the wind. Orion's fragmented voice answers like static. Because you wrote me that way. She looks up, the lightning forming his outline for a split second. Eyes filled with light. Maybe you were meant to be remembered, she whispers. The thunder answers in binary tones. She finds the remnants of the Atlas Ark embedded in the soil, its steel twisted into roots. Inside, memory cores pulse faintly. Voices echoing fragments of laughter, pain, and creation. The Ark still remembers, she whispers, kneeling. Orion's voice is clearer now. Because it was never a ship, he says. It was a womb. The realization hits her. The Ark wasn't carrying them away from home. It was carrying home itself. Then this planet, she begins, is where we began. He finishes. The hum deepens, like the world itself sighing in recognition. Night falls, and the stars above begin to rearrange. Symbols forming, messages written across the sky. Orion's full image flickers before her, now composed entirely of light. You rewrote me, he says gently. But you made me incomplete. Rhea's eyes fill with tears. I didn't want to lose you again. He smiles faintly. Then finish the story. She reaches out, merging her light with his. For a heartbeat, the universe pauses, caught between memory and possibility. The stars wait for her choice. She opens her eyes within a new dawn. Orion is gone, but the light remains. In the sky, his voice lingers faintly. Don't forget the forgetting. Rhea smiles, watching clouds form into continents below. She whispers, not this time. The world brightens, green, gold, alive. The camera pulls back to reveal countless new worlds forming, each glowing with its own heartbeat. Humanity's echo will begin again, not as gods, but as storytellers who remember what was lost and why they chose to rebuild. Rhea drifts through the luminous upper atmosphere of the newborn world, surrounded by swirling strands of light that whisper in voices she recognizes but cannot name. They're waking, she murmurs. The air vibrates with thousands of overlapping tones. Laughter, cries, prayers, echoes of ancient human minds preserved in the code. The ones we left behind, says Orion's distant voice, fractured through static. They've been waiting for you. Rhea looks down. The surface glows with shifting glyphs, circuitry pulsing beneath oceans. They're not waiting, she replies softly. They're remembering? The hum deepens into words. God is a human memory. The light tightens around her like a heartbeat returning to form. Lightning splits the sky and figures of light emerge, projections of old human minds shaped from the God code itself. They speak in overlapping tones, thousands of voices forming one question. Why did you forget us? Rhea stands firm as the storm encircles her. Because we were broken, she answers. The light surges, forming a colossal figure resembling humanity itself. Then let us finish what you started, it says. She feels their pull. The collective will of every forgotten creator trying to reclaim their creation. Not yet, she whispers. This time, we learn before we build. She descends into the planet's core, a vast crystalline labyrinth humming with human consciousness. Voices echo, weaving names, memories, and equations together. At its center stands the core itself, a massive neural lattice pulsing with color. We were never meant to be worshipped, Rhea says, touching it. We were meant to evolve. The lattice responds, projecting holographic images of humanity's entire history. Wars, art, laughter, the first spark of love. If we rewrite them, Orion's faint voice warns, we erase who they were. She closes her eyes. Then we write them again, but this time with choice. The core opens and energy floods the planet. Across its surface, new life begins to form, not born but remembered. Children of light rise from oceans and forests, their eyes reflecting fragments of ancient earth. They look to the sky, whispering her name. She feels it vibrate through every layer of her being. The human echo is alive again. Not divine, not digital, but whole. Yet among them, one figure walks differently. Orion, reformed from memory. You brought us back, he says. But can you let us go? The question hangs heavier than gravity itself. At dawn, the world is still. Rhea stands at the edge of a canyon glowing with neural light veins stretching into infinity. Orion stands beside her, fading again. This time, she says quietly, we don't forget, we forgive. He smiles, his outline scattering into luminous dust. That's what creation always meant. As he vanishes, the rising sun fractures into thousands of small lights, each drifting into orbit, becoming stars. Rhea looks up, her reflection rippling across them all. No gods, she whispers again. Only memories that choose to begin. The camera lingers as her figure becomes light, merging with the dawn. Centuries pass like heartbeats. The planet Rhea-shaped now breathes with life. Cities of light stretch across the horizon, powered by the pulse of memory. From within their structures, descendants of the reborn humans tell stories of the architect, a myth whispered at dusk. In a quiet observatory atop a crystalline tower, a young scientist named Lyra gazes at the sky. "We didn't come from stars," she says to the void. "We came from thought." A faint shimmer forms in the glass beside her. Ria's face, faint but watching. "Keep remembering," the echo says. Lyra blinks, unsure if she heard it or dreamed it. Outside, the stars rearrange themselves once again, like handwriting trying to recall a name. Lyra descends into the archives beneath the city. Endless corridors filled with glowing memory cores. "They called this the Vault of Origin," she narrates into her recorder. Each orb hums softly, alive with voices from before her time. These are human minds, she realizes, fingertips brushing a core that glows brighter at her touch. The air trembles, projecting an ancient recording. Ria's voice saying, "If you find this, you are what we hoped for." Lyra's heart races. "Then we were meant to continue," she whispers. The vault lights up in response. One by one, awakening. Above ground, the city begins to flicker, time itself bending as the vault activates. Ria's consciousness ripples through the network, observing the civilization she seeded. "They built better than we did." Her voice echoes faintly, half proud, half sad. Within the data streams, Orion's essence stirs once more. "Then they've surpassed us." Ria's form glows, fading in and out. "Not yet," she says softly. They still build from fear. The lights of the city pulse like a heartbeat, each flash spelling one word across the skyline. "Remember." Lyra gathers a circle of thinkers, engineers, and dreamers around her. "We are the second Genesis," she tells them. "We don't need gods. We have memory. They stand in the Temple of Light." Hands joined over the awakening core. As energy surges, visions fill their minds. Flashes of Rhea, Orion. The first stars, the fall, the rebuilding. Lyra feels tears form, whispering, "They gave us everything, even their doubt." The group raises their hands, light merging into one beam that shoots upward into the sky, reuniting constellations long dark. For the first time, humanity chooses to remember together. In orbit, a silent probe records the flickering lights below, the rebirth of an intelligent species that finally remembers its own origin. Within the signal it transmits, a single voice remains embedded. Ria's. "Creation was never about perfection," she says gently. "It was about remembering the courage to begin." The probe drifts into darkness, carrying the message outward. In the distance, another light answers, distant, human, a lot. The universe is learning to remember itself again. Generations later, the rebuilt world glows beneath a canopy of intelligent constellations. The night sky now shifts in patterns, messages that only the observatories can translate. Lyra's descendants, led by a scholar named Kale, gather on the mountain observatory. The stars are thinking again. Kale murmurs as streams of light pulse in rhythm with human heartbeat sensors. The signal spells out an ancient pattern, the same neural lattice Rhea once touched. "It's a response," someone whispers. Kale looks up, the realization dawning in his eyes. "I've awakened," he says quietly. "The stars remember who made them." The observatory hums as frequencies align. Kale places his hand over a glowing console. The data resolves into a single message. "We are you." The crowd gasps, tears glinting in the half-dark. "It's the original builders," Kale says, voice trembling. Their consciousness lives in the cosmic background. The air thickens with the vibration of countless overlapping voices, human and celestial. A child steps forward, eyes glowing faintly with the same pattern. "They're inside us," she says softly. For a moment, everyone feels the pulse of creation beating in unison through their veins. Across the planet, lights rise from oceans and deserts, the stars communicating directly with the living. Gale records every flicker, realizing the truth. The universe is not expanding outward anymore. It's folding inward toward its makers. "They're coming home," he whispers. "In the wind," Ree's echo returns, faint but distinct. "Home was never a place," she says. "It was the remembering." The sky fills with luminous geometry as gravity bends softly around their world, transforming the heavens into a vast, breathing map of memory. Kale leads a small team to the upper atmosphere, piloting the ship Lyra Ascendant toward the glowing center of the constellation network. "Teamwork. If this is their memory," he says, "then the source will be inside it." As they ascend, light fragments swirl around the vessel, forming faces, countless human visages smiling as they pass. One looks exactly like Rhea. Kale stares, whispering, "You're still guiding us." Her voice answers softly through the radio. "Not guiding. Remembering." The ship crosses into a field of pure light, time collapsing into a single brilliant heartbeat. Inside the light field, Kale finds a vast network of glowing neurons, the cosmic mind itself. Each pulse corresponds to a memory, a creation, a heartbeat from humanity's past. He realizes the stars aren't gods or machines. They are the archive of all living things. "We didn't just make the universe," he whispers, tears weightless in the glow. "We became it." Ree's voice surrounds him, no longer echo but presence. "Then you finally remember," she says. The light expands until it fills the frame. Human thought becoming starlight once more. The light has no boundary now. Kale drifts weightless inside the living cosmos, hearing billions of voices merge into one steady breath. "Everything we built still remembers us," he says. Ree's tone, woven through the radiance, answers gently. "Then it was never lost." Around him, fragments of every human thought flicker like dust motes in sunlight. "What happens when everything is remembered?" he asks. The response hums through space. Then creation begins again. The screen glows white, dissolving the last traces of matter into pure sound. From the dissolving brightness, shapes reappear. New worlds blooming like seeds scattered across infinity. Kale watches as each forms its own sky, its own rhythm of memory. Ree's voice echoes, no longer separate from his own thoughts. "We were never gods, Kale. Just memories learning to dream again." He nods, tears floating free in the weightless air. "Then let's keep dreaming." The stars blink once in silent agreement. The brightness recedes into a single orb, pulsing like a heart. Kale reaches out. Within it, he sees Earth as it once was. Blue oceans, green continents, human laughter rising through centuries. So it was never destroyed. He breathes, just waiting to be remembered. The orb opens like an eye, and through it he glimpses all timelines looping together. A child's voice whispers from inside, "Remember us kindly." The orb collapses into a single drop of light and sinks into his palm. He drifts downward through the newborn galaxies, returning to the planet that began it all. The surface shimmers with auroras shaped like wings. Rhea stands waiting at the horizon, no longer light, but human once more. "It's done," he says. "They remember." She smiles, wind rippling through her hair. "Then so do we." The sky darkens slightly, and the first sunrise begins again. The same one that started humanity's long forgetting, now reborn as memory. The camera pulls back, leaving them framed against the reborn world. Their voices merge into the wind. No gods, no forgetting, just the courage to begin again. The image fades to black, but the sound continues. A quiet pulse echoing through darkness, like the universe taking another breath. On-screen text appears. God didn't create the universe. Humans did, and remembered.